Abia State Government says the construction of its Modular Refinery will commence fully during the second quarter of the year. The State Commissioner for Information, OK Kanu, disclosed this on Monday while briefing newsmen on the outcome of the State Executive Council ESCO meeting chaired by the State Governor Alex Oti. This, of course, is as a result of the approval granted HSI to operate the 10,000 barrels per day capacity modular refinery at the AIP site, Kanu stated. The state government also disclosed that it has engaged the NNPC, Port Harcourt Refinery and NNPC Retail Management to ensure that the state gets sufficient allocation of petroleum products. Kanu also noted that the state government, through the State Ministry of Petroleum and Mineral Resources, recently commissioned a statewide study on solid minerals across the state with a view to determining the quantities and commercial viability of the mineral deposits at DOTS, the ambient landscape, and these minerals include limestone, kaolin, lignite, granite, lead, zinc, and others. Considering the fact that we're still, waiting for the federal refinery to, come up till now, we're still, waiting for most of the refineries in the country nationwide. This move by the Abia State government to, begin the process or let's say commencement of the 10,000 capacity modular refinery in Abia State in May next month. Do you see any possibility of such, coming into realization?
Well, I wouldn't stand here to begin to doubt the initiative of the governor. I will only say it's a right step in the right direction.
Okay.
And should he come, kudos to the governor. The governor is not just a roadside politician. He's a technocrat, someone who has found his footing in the banking sector. He's an economist. He's a refined gentleman. He prepared for his coming. It's not accidental. He didn't join politics because of poverty or to enrich himself. But he wants to impact the lives of the people. And the people who stay around Abia State are testifying about this. A lot of transformations have taken place in such an astronomical measure that you can't even imagine. People are commending the governor of Abia State. I mean, Abians are currently happy and proud. Before when you call somebody, when you refer somebody as an Abia State person, he will want to dodge. He wouldn't want to identify himself because Abia State was like a cost state.
Are you from Abia State, if I may ask?
I am.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm proud now to refer to myself as an Abian.
Okay.
Yes, because my governor is doing marvelous. In fact, I think he should be about the best governor currently in Nigeria. His developmental strides is second to none. Perhaps the person following him should have been Fubara, but incidentally he was removed, and that put
he was suspended. He can still return if he wants to.
No, not if he wants to.
He's under suspension, not like he was removed entirely. Yes.
He said if he wants to. Who wouldn't want to? But when the powers that be, that powers they use in suspending him, if they still want to maintain it, nobody can take it away from them because they have the pen and the barrel. So that is why. But that is not our line of discussion for today. We are talking about the modular refinery that will soon begin in May by the governor of Abia State. I say it's a ripe step in the right direction. That will alleviate scarcity, at least within the... If that goes on, scarcity of petroleum products within the eastern states, it will alleviate the scarcity of petroleum products within the eastern states. And I would want or wish and pray that the federal government will not scuttle this. Because I have discovered that most times, or sometimes, when instead of encouraging good development, the federal government, for sectional reason, tribal sentiment and reasons, we want to stifle that developmental strides coming to certain states. I don't know what we are dragging in this country. So I will ask the president himself to please support this move. Give it every backing. NNPC is another thing. NNPC can decide to scuttle that, the progress of that by supplying them the crude or not even supplying to them at all. And you know, this is owned by a government. They will not go the way of maybe trying to smuggle crude from here and there to do that. So it's a legitimate assignment he has initiated.
Okay, I asked your question from the beginning, Barrister Okoro. The fact that we're still yet to see the revitalization of the refineries we have in Warri, Port Harcourt and Kaduna functional up till now. What's the possibility that this modular refinery in Abia State will be allowed to commence?
That is what I'm talking about. It could be allowed to commence, but not, you know, this other one you talked about, we are waiting for it like the coming of Jesus Christ. You don't know when.
Do you have an idea why up till now none of the refineries are still functioning?
Obasanjo said it's not possible. I have said it here in the studio. That, you know, they said, what an elder, what an old man sat down and saw. A younger person can even climb up the tallest of the trees and will never see that. So, Obasanjo, I said it here on this, I was sitting down here when I said it, that OBJ said it is not possible. And he challenged them that it's not possible. It's not possible.
Well, how is it not possible after funds have actually been released for that need?
You know, systemic corruption in the country. The possibility of that thing happening is clear from A to Z that is working in that refinery. Recruit new personnel and perhaps use foreign mercenaries, what do you call them, expatriates, to restart that refinery. That is the only way it could work again. But when you depend on Nigerians who have corrupted themselves and others who are coming in have been taught the way of corruption, you know, that place is like their farm. The moment you are working in NNPC, you are supposed to be a billionaire in the next 1 year. If you fail to be, your people will ask you what they happen to you, whether they curse you. So that is the issue. They are not there to serve the public. They are there. But what happened to the last GMD? You know, it's not something we'll begin to talk about now. They have seen there as their cow, where they will milk for themselves and not for the citizens. So they are the workers there, especially the top echelon of the workers, will only go there to enrich themselves. Just exactly what is happening with the insecurity situation in Nigeria. I still say it in this studio. I will also remind you, because next time you ask me about it. The insecurity in Nigeria is not going to stop, because this top echelon of the military and the servicemen are using it as a conduit pipe to make money. So as long as the insecurity exists, they will get themselves enriched. Why don't you ask yourself, why is it that the former military personnel of the 70s and 80s, most of them couldn't even build houses. Most of them couldn't build their own personal house. But these people now, they retire from 90s They retire. They want to join politics. Do you join politics with empty pockets? It's huge amount of money. They're already billionaires. That's why some of them will want to come and contest either governorship or the Senate, because they have already enriched themselves. I'm talking about the military personnel in this country. So, same goes with these NNPC people. Their place will not work, because if it begins to work, it don't spoil their business now. So, you are not going to allow it work. It will continue. We will continue to see the recurring decimal of today it is working. When you go there, they will not allow you to inspect the facilities. I think Obasanjo asked them to come and show him. Did they accept? When they said that this happened, was it? If not earlier this year, it should be sometime late last year. Yeah. So when Obasanjo came up with this issue that, they said they have rolled out the first refined petroleum. Obasanjo said it's not true. And, it became a war of words. At the end, Nigerians found out that it was not true.
So, Barrister Okoro, this issue, we're not going to divert. We'll still come back to the Abia State situation. We know that the former chairman, NNPCL, Melekere, was removed and replaced, and that's at that time, at 2nd of March, right? Yeah. This is April.
This April.
Yes. And then there has been, up till now, there has been protest over the probe of Melekere. I'm not sure. I think it's 2nd of March or 2nd of April. I need to be certain about the particular dates so I don't misinform the public. But I'll still remember before we end the show. And then there has been probe into the situation that Melekere should be probed because of the funds that were released. Because at the time, they'll come and say, okay, we're working on the refinery, we're doing this and that, funds are needed, and funds to be released for the situation. And as it stands now, we're not seeing anything about the refineries happening or dispensing any petroleum products in that instance. And these are federal refineries. What is that possibility that the state refinery, Modular Refinery, let's say as it is, in Abia State? Yes, you've commended the Abia State government of its improvements in governance, things it has done, and now you're proud to be a citizen, a proud member or a proud citizen of Abia State, unlike before when people will not want to be associated in that terms. I know about the part of electricity. I think around early last year when, the state government had to take it upon themselves to, work on the electricity aspect to make sure that most parts of the state actually has good power supply, max at least 24 hours in that instance. And several measures has been taken. There has been commendable statements over the governing situation of Alex Oti in his state. This step, we will say, is a commendable one. But is there any possibility, if the federal government is not, the federal refineries are not still functioning, how do we believe this one will actually work in that instance? I just want to get your thoughts sincerely on this aspect, because you're trying to be,
what you're trying to say, with the possibility of the modular refinery of a state working,
yes, when the federal
that
government,
of the gigantic one of the federal government is moribund and not working. I've told you it is corruption that kept it that way. You don't think that's corruption. What I want to tell you is the possibility is there is a modular refinery. It does not have that capacity.
As much as the federal one?
Yes, of the federal refinery. That of the NNPC refinery.
Okay.
It doesn't have that capacity. This is modular, something, a miniature type of refinery.
Yes.
Which you can, anybody, an individual can even own it.
He actually stated 10,000 capacity.
10,000 capacity barrel per day, which is a very small So it can be managed. And remember, I made mention that this one has.
Are there any states in the country that actually have any modular refinery
no,
that's
there's
functioning?
no state that I know for now.
Okay.
Unless there's no state that I know
that has a functioning modular
that
refinery.
I know. It may be, but the ones I don't think I know anyone.
Okay.
Yes. So, you know, Osibanjo was the one who came up with this idea that states or even individuals could be allowed to operate modular refineries. But the government of that day, of that time, that is Buhari's government, couldn't support that idea, you know, for reasons best known to them. So, but I want to tell you that the only thing that can make this one not to work is still the federal government. The state government, the Alex Oti that I know, has the willpower and the knowledge of what to do to make it functional and workable.
Okay.
But it is still the policy of the federal government that could stifle that idea from not being actualized. And I have begged and prayed the president, please allow this to work. It's still to your credit. It's still to his credit that during his tenure that such a thing came into existence and he allowed it. If he wants us to give him all the glory and leave Alex Oti, we will do it. So I beg of him, I beg those responsible not to stifle that noble idea.
Okay.